Hello, amazing language learners. Welcome back to Language by Language, the place where learning becomes fun and simple. A very important question. How much time have you spent on heavy books, complex grammar, long exercises, and still tremble when speaking? If this is your problem, too, this video is made exactly for you. Today, I want to share an important truth with you. A tip that has moved thousands of language learners from the point of "I can't" to "I can speak English now." Now get ready. To become fluent in English, you don't need to study 4 hours every day. You just need 30 minutes a day. Do this simple but amazing thing. Yes, you heard right. Half an hour of focused learning is better than 4 hours of aimless learning. And in this video, you will see exactly what that simple method is and how you can start it tonight. This half hour is even less time than we spend watching one episode of a series or browsing social media. But if you use it correctly, it can change how you speak, understand, and even think in English. So, are you ready to discover the secret of 30 minutes of daily practice? Let's start together. Chapter 1. Why is just 30 minutes a day the key to success? Many language learners believe that 30 minutes is very little time. They think, can you make progress in half an hour? Shouldn't I study several hours every day? This is a common misunderstanding. Many people think that to speak fluently, they need to spend hours with books or do boring exercises. But the truth is, if used correctly, these same 30 minutes can change your entire English over time. Even research has shown that 10 to 20 minutes of practice can be effective. So imagine how powerful half an hour can be. Your brain is like a muscle. Let's compare it to exercise. If you work out for 5 hours in the gym one day, you will only get tired and sore, and maybe you won't go again for a week. But if you walk for just 20 or 30 minutes every day, your body gradually gets stronger. Your breathing becomes easier, your energy goes up, and your health improves without you even feeling it much. Language learning is the same. When you practice even a little every day, you train your brain to think more easily and naturally in English. You might only learn a few new words or practice a few short sentences, but at that moment, you are building new connections in your brain. These connections get stronger with each practice, and over time, these small moments turn into a big change. The main secret:
consistency and persistence. The real secret to language learning is consistency. If you study for 8 hours on Monday and then do nothing for the rest of the week, your brain will forget most of what you learned. But if you spend just half an hour every day, the language stays fresh in your mind. It's like watering a plant. Give it a little water every day and it grows strong and healthy. But if you poured a lot of water once a week and then leave it, the plant struggles to survive. Why is 30 minutes realistic? Because it's practical and achievable. You don't need to mess up your daily schedule. Half an hour can be found anywhere, on the bus, during your lunch break, while cooking, or even before bed. When your goal is small, it's easier to stick to it. That's why many people, when they set big goals, like studying several hours every day, give up completely after a while. But with half an hour, there are no excuses. Just keep going, and after a few weeks or months, you'll see what a big difference has been made. Quality is more important than quantity. 30 minutes of focus is much more valuable than several hours of careless and scattered study. When you know you only have half an hour, you focus more. You use every second well, listening carefully, reading aloud, or practicing with full attention.
When it becomes a habit, here's the beautiful part. When half an hour becomes a habit, it no longer feels hard or forced. Instead, it becomes one of the best moments of your day. Many people started with 30 minutes, but after a few months, they unconsciously continued for longer, an hour or even more. Why? Because when you see progress, you get motivated, your confidence increases, and the language no longer feels like a lesson or a duty. It becomes a natural part of your life. The power of 30 minutes is that you'll come back tomorrow and the day after that too. Every day, these minutes stack up like small bricks, building a strong wall.
One day you'll look back and see how much progress you've made, and it all started with just half an hour. Chapter 2. Start your day with English. If you can, the best time for this half-hour practice is in the mornings. Why? Because mornings give you more energy and focus. Your mind is fresh and not yet filled with the day's busyness. You have higher energy, and the things you learn at the beginning of the day become more lasting. Overcoming evening distractions. Many times we say, "Okay, I'll practice at night." But what happens when night comes?
We're tired, busy, family or urgent tasks take up our time, and suddenly we realize the day is over. But when you practice in the morning, nothing will stop you. Before the world even starts, you've done your work. A sense of success from the start of the day. Imagine, you wake up, drink a glass of water, and spend the first half hour of your day with English. You can listen to a short podcast, read a simple text, or practice a few sentences aloud. While others are still sleepy or scrolling on their phones, you've invested in yourself. You've taken a step forward. This sense of success changes your mood for the entire day. English becomes like a gentle music playing in your mind all day long.
You might remember a word you learned in the morning while working. Or you might understand a sentence more easily because you practiced something similar in the morning. Even if you only learn 5 new words, your day has started with growth. And growth means movement. Movement is what takes you forward. Small wins at the beginning of the day open the way for bigger wins later in the day. Making daily practice enjoyable. Some language learners like to make their time more engaging. You can prepare a cup of coffee or tea and sit in your favorite spot with your English tools. You can watch your favorite English YouTube channel and write down new phrases. Some people have a small notebook where they jot down useful morning sentences and review them throughout the day to keep their memory fresh. Some use the morning for speaking practice. They read a short paragraph aloud or explain their daily plan in English. Speaking in the mornings helps prepare your mouth muscles for English sounds and gives you more confidence throughout the day. Key point: make this time enjoyable and relaxing so you look forward to it. If you see your morning practice as a duty, you will resist. But if you see it as a personal moment for your growth, it becomes something you truly want to do. You might even wake up a little earlier to enjoy this habit. Unconscious benefits. Morning practice also helps your subconscious mind. Things you learn early in the day, your brain slowly processes while you do other tasks. Without much effort, connections might form between new words you learned in the morning and things you hear later. This is like planting a seed in the morning and giving it the day's light and rain to grow. Of course, not everyone can practice in the morning, and that's perfectly normal. But if your schedule allows, try this time, even a few days a week. You might notice that your energy, focus, and motivation increase throughout the day, and English becomes a natural part of your life. Before breakfast, this practice becomes a part of your day that gives you strength and motivation. Chapter 3. The Power of Focused Practice. One skill each day. If you only have 30 minutes a day to work on your English, you must use it wisely. The biggest mistake many language learners make is trying to do everything at once. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing, all in that short time. When you divide your attention like this, you won't make deep progress in any area. That's why the secret to real progress is focused practice, working on one skill at a time with full attention.
Exercise example. Learning English is like exercising. If you put a little pressure on all your body's muscles every day, none of them will get strong. But if you focus on one muscle group every day, that muscle grows deeper and stronger. Tomorrow, you focus on another group, and so on. Over time, all your muscles become healthy and strong. Focused English practice is the same. Focus on one skill each day so your progress is deep and lasting. Practical method. A simple method for focused practice is to choose one main skill each day and rotate it throughout the week. Example: Monday, listening; Tuesday, speaking; Wednesday, reading; Thursday, writing. Then, repeat the cycle. This method keeps your mind fresh and ensures that all parts of your English grow in a balanced way. 1. Listening Day. Listening Day is for training your ears to understand the sounds, rhythm, and meaning of English. You can listen to a short story, a podcast, or even a part of a movie or TV show. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. First, focus on the main ideas. Over time, your brain will start to understand more details. Active listening, not passive. It means paying close attention, repeating new words, and noting down phrases you like.
Listening is the foundation of speaking. The more natural English you hear, the easier it will be for you to produce it yourself. Deeper examples and techniques. Podcasts suitable for your level. There are resources for podcasts specifically for language learners that speak at a slow pace and use simple vocabulary. Find them and listen even a few times. Gist listening practice. The first time, just understand the main topic. Don't worry about the details. Detailed listening practice. The second time, try to understand more details, key words, and important phrases. Smart note-taking. Don't just write down new words. Write down complete phrases or interesting sentences and understand their structure. Active listening in the background. Even while doing other tasks like cooking or walking, you can listen to English to familiarize your brain with the rhythm and tune of the language. This is a form of indirect immersion. 2. Speaking Day. Speaking Day is for activating your voice. Many language learners only read and listen, but when it's time to speak, they freeze. This is natural because speaking is a muscular skill, and you need to train your mouth and tongue to produce English sounds. On Speaking Day, choose a topic, for example, a childhood memory or a country you want to travel to. Speak about it for 5 minutes without stopping. If you can, record yourself and then listen to the recording. By doing this, you'll notice which parts need improvement: pronunciation, grammar, or speed. Over time, you will hear your progress, and this is motivating. Deeper examples and techniques for Speaking Day. Shadowing. Listen to a short sentence from a movie, show, or podcast. Pay attention to the speaker's rhythm, emphasis, and tone, then repeat it exactly as they did. Shadowing works like magic and quickly improves your pronunciation and speaking rhythm. Describing your surroundings. Look around you and describe what you see aloud. For example, I see a blue chair. The sun is shining outside. I am feeling happy today.
This exercise helps your mouth get used to English words and sentences, and your brain learns to think directly in English. Personal storytelling. Tell a short story aloud. For example, what you did yesterday or your plans for tomorrow. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is to become more comfortable expressing ideas. Answering imaginary questions. Imagine someone asks you a question and you have to answer aloud. This exercise strengthens your quick response skills and builds more confidence.
3. Reading Day. Reading Day is for expanding your vocabulary and understanding sentence structures. You can read a short article, a blog post, or a few pages from a simple English book. Don't stop too much for every new word. This slows you down. Instead, focus on understanding the meaning from context and underline new words to check later. Reading not only increases your vocabulary, but also shows you how these words are used naturally. The more you read, the more grammatical patterns and word choices you will observe, and these patterns will naturally appear in your speaking and writing. Deeper examples and techniques. Level-appropriate resources. Choose short stories, simple news articles, or graded readers that are suitable for your level. Keywords in context. Try to guess the meaning of unfamiliar words from the text instead of immediately checking a dictionary. This skill is very important in real conversation. Reading for pleasure. If the topic interests you, you are more likely to continue. For example, if you like cooking, read English recipes. If you are interested in sports, follow English sports news. Note-taking for structures. In addition to vocabulary, pay attention to new sentence structures, write them down, and try to use them in your own sentences. 4. Writing Day. Writing Day is an opportunity to turn your thoughts into words on paper or screen. You can write 5 to 10 sentences about your day, your dreams, your favorite hobby, or things you've learned. Writing forces you to slow down and think carefully about word choice and grammar. It also helps you remember vocabulary better because you are actively using it. Deeper examples and techniques. Daily journaling. Write every day about what you've done or your plans. For example, today I went to the park. I saw my friend. We had coffee. It was sunny. This practice helps you practice grammar and vocabulary and express your thoughts in English. Practicing structures. Try to use new grammatical structures or fresh vocabulary in your writing. Feedback. Optional. If possible, share your writing with someone who can give feedback or compare it with native writing samples. There are many online forums and websites for language exchange. Summarizing practice. Summarize an article or podcast you used on your listening or reading day in a few sentences. Benefits of skill rotation. Rotating skills this way keeps your mind fresh. If you focus on only one skill for weeks, you might get tired or feel stuck. But when you work on a different skill every day, learning remains exciting and you always look forward to a new challenge. Being fully present in the moment. The most important part of focused practice is being fully present in the moment. When it's listening day, you listen 100% and don't think about speaking or grammar. When it's speaking day, you speak 100% and don't stop every 2 seconds to check a dictionary. This full focus makes your practice powerful. 30 minutes of full focus helps your progress more than 2 hours of scattered study. Flexibility and tracking progress. Don't be afraid to adapt the plan to your needs. If speaking is your weakest skill, you might work on it twice a week. If you are preparing for a writing exam, you might dedicate more time to writing. Skill rotation is flexible, and you can shape it according to your goals. Keep a simple daily log of your practices. For example, I listened to a podcast about travel, or I wrote 8 sentences about my weekend. This helps you see your progress and be proud of your consistency.
After a month, you will see dozens of small learning moments that have led to real progress.
Focused practice works because it allows your brain to work deeply on one skill at a time. Over time, each skill you focus on helps the other skills. Listening improves speaking. Reading improves writing. Speaking improves listening. All the pieces work together, and your English becomes more natural and fluent. So, the next time you practice for 30 minutes, resist the temptation to do everything and give your full attention to one skill. Imagine it's like exercising a muscle. Each skill gets stronger, and when they all work together, you'll be amazed by your progress.
Dear friends, so far we have talked about the amazing power of 30 minutes of daily practice and how to focus on different skills. This learning journey can be wonderful. And now, before we dive deeper into turning English into an enjoyable habit, if these tips have been valuable to you, please take a moment to like this video. Share your biggest challenge in learning English with us in the comments section. Share it with a friend who needs this motivation. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next transformative tips. Your support helps us provide better and more content for you. Now, let's continue.
Chapter 4. Turn English into a habit, not a duty. There's a secret that most successful English learners know. They don't just study English every day, they live with it every day. For them, English is not an item on a to-do list to check off, and it's not something they do just because they have to. It's something they enjoy, and it's a part of their lifestyle, just like eating breakfast or brushing their teeth. From must to want. When you see English as homework, it seems heavy and tiring. You might say, I must study. And from the very beginning, your brain resists. But when you see English as a fun part of your day, you don't need to fight yourself to do it. In fact, you will look forward to it, and the more you enjoy it, the more consistent you will be.
Connecting English to personal interests. So, how can you make English enjoyable in just these 30 daily minutes? By connecting it to things you love. If you enjoy cooking, spend your 30 minutes reading recipes in English or watching cooking videos. You'll learn new vocabulary, but it won't feel like studying. This time is about following your interest. If you love sports, read sports news in English or watch short interviews with athletes. If you enjoy music, listen to English songs, follow the lyrics, and understand the meaning. If you are interested in technology, read technology blogs in English, or watch gadget reviews.
Key point: make your English time personal and exciting so your brain naturally becomes curious and engaged. Real and meaningful connection. Another powerful way to turn English into a habit is to use it for real communication. Talk about things that are important to you, even if it's just with yourself. Describe your day, your plans, and your feelings in English. If you can, chat online with people who share common interests or join English-speaking groups on social media whose topic you are interested in, not just English study. When your new 30 minutes are filled with something you care about, your brain works harder without pressure and stress. You don't just memorize words, you connect them to emotions, interests, and real-life situations. That's why you remember them better and use them more naturally. A pleasant environment for practice. It's also important to make your practice time enjoyable and pleasant. Choose a comfortable place to study and have your favorite drink with you. Use tools you enjoy, whether it's a colorful notebook, a useful app, or a YouTube channel you like.
The more positive your experience, the easier it becomes to repeat the practice every day. Many language learners even create small rituals around their English practice. For example, they might light a candle, sit in their favorite chair, or play soft music while reading. These small details train your brain to associate English time with comfort and enjoyment, which makes your habit stronger. Remember,
Habits have great power because once you create them, they happen almost automatically. When you make doing something enjoyable in English a daily habit, you won't need to push yourself anymore. It just happens, and because you truly love it, you won't want to give it up. That's why many people who become fluent don't feel like they're studying at all. They simply spend a part of their lives in English. They watch shows they like in English. They follow their favorite influencers in English. They read about their hobbies and interests in English. Over time, this natural exposure leads to great progress, and your skills grow without much effort. So stop thinking of English as something separate from your life. Instead, let it flow into the things you already do and love. When English becomes your habit, not your duty, it will no longer feel like work. And that's when you truly start to grow.
Chapter 5. The Magic of Speaking Aloud. Free your voice. Many English learners spend most of their time listening and reading. They listen to podcasts, watch videos, or read books, and are proud of their progress. But when they get a real chance to speak English, whether with a friend, a teacher, or even a stranger, they suddenly feel anxious or even freeze. Their mind goes blank and their mouth doesn't move. This is a very common problem, and the reason is that speaking is a skill that requires specific practice. Here's an important rule. During your 30 minutes of daily English practice, always set aside time for speaking aloud. It doesn't matter if you're alone. In fact, speaking alone can be one of the best ways to build confidence and fluency. When you speak aloud, your brain and mouth learn to work together naturally and easily to produce English.
Your speaking muscles. Speaking aloud is like exercising your English-speaking muscles. If you don't practice these muscles, they become weak and slow. But with daily practice, these muscles get stronger. Your tongue learns to form sounds correctly. Your lips learn the right movements. Your brain finds words faster and puts them together in sentences. Practical techniques for speaking aloud. Describing what you see. A simple way to practice speaking aloud is to describe your surroundings. For example, if you are in your room, say aloud, "I see a blue chair. The sun is shining outside. I am feeling happy today." This might feel strange at first, but it helps your mouth get used to English sentences and trains your brain to think directly in English, not by translating from your native language. Telling a short story. You can tell a short story aloud, like what you did yesterday or your plans for tomorrow. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is to become comfortable expressing ideas. Over time, your confidence will grow and your sentences will become smoother and longer. Shadowing. Another powerful method is repeating sentences from movies, shows, or podcasts. Listen carefully to the speaker's rhythm, emphasis, and tone, then repeat it exactly. Shadowing works like magic for improving pronunciation and speaking rhythm, making you sound more natural and fluent.
Combining with listening practice. You can combine speaking practice with active listening. Choose a short sentence from a podcast or video. Listen 2 or 3 times to fully understand it. Then say the sentence aloud, trying to match the speaker's speed and tone. If you can, record yourself and listen again to see how your pronunciation has improved and where you need more practice. Deeper benefits of speaking aloud. Speed of thought. Speaking aloud helps your brain produce English quickly. When you only practice listening or reading, the brain gets strong at understanding the language, but less skilled at producing it. Speaking aloud trains the brain to think in English and react faster during conversation. Overcoming fear of mistakes. Many language learners report that practicing speaking aloud has helped them overcome the fear of making mistakes. When you practice alone, you have a safe space. No one judges you. You can try new words and phrases, and if you make a mistake, you can immediately try again. This method builds your confidence bit by bit.
Memory reinforcement. Speaking aloud also strengthens your memory. When you say words and sentences aloud, the brain connects the sound, meaning, and the physical act of speaking. This connection makes it easier to remember and use words in real conversations.
You don't need to speak for a long time. Even 5 minutes of focused practice every day makes a big difference over time. The key is to do this practice regularly and with purpose. Try to speak slowly and clearly at first, and then gradually increase your speed as you get more comfortable. In short, speaking aloud is the magic key to speaking fluently. It's the practice that takes you from understanding English to using it confidently in daily life. So today, during your 30 minutes of practice, find a moment to speak aloud. Describe your day, tell a short story, or repeat sentences you've heard in English. Your future self will thank you for this effort.
Chapter 6, Tracking Your Progress, Seeing Step-by-Step Growth. A valuable tip that many language learners overlook. If you want to stay motivated and make progress, tracking your progress is essential. When you start learning a new language, sometimes you feel like you're moving slowly or even standing still. Days pass and you might ask yourself, is my effort really paying off? But when you keep a simple record of your daily activities, learning becomes clearer and more rewarding. Tracking progress doesn't have to be complex. A notebook, a diary, or a simple app is enough. Every day after your 30-minute practice session, write a short note about what you did. Example, I listened to a podcast about travel. I read an article about health. I spoke aloud for 5 minutes about my weekend. Key to success? Accuracy. Writing exactly what you did helps your brain record the experience better.
Why is this simple act so useful? Turning learning into something real and visible. Instead of thinking, I studied English today, you have tangible proof of your effort. By reviewing the list after a few days or weeks, you see small successes, each a step forward. This feeling is motivating, especially on days when motivation is low. Finding patterns in learning. After 2 weeks or a month, review your notes. You might notice that listening to sports podcasts is enjoyable, or that writing short stories boosts your confidence. You can also figure out which skills need more focus and optimize your learning path. Celebrating small successes. Language learning is a long journey, and often small improvements are forgotten. But when you write down your daily practice, these successes become clearly visible, like understanding a new word, finishing a short article, or saying a sentence without hesitation. Celebrating these moments increases your confidence and motivation. Planning and accountability. Some language learners record more details, like new words learned or mistakes to correct. This turns notes into a personal study guide. You can also set weekly goals. For example, dedicate more days to speaking aloud, or listen to a new podcast every week. Seeing yourself achieve these goals strengthens your motivation and discipline.
Remember, tracking progress doesn't mean perfection. It's not a race, but a friendly way to stay honest and motivated. Everyone has good and bad days. Sometimes you might miss a day, and that's completely normal. The important thing is to get back to it and record your efforts. When your learning becomes real and measurable, it becomes easier to stick to it. You start to trust yourself, knowing that every day, even if small, strengthens your English skills step by step. This trust is one of the most important factors for long-term success. So, start today. A few minutes after your 30-minute practice session, write down what you did, and make this a daily habit. Over time, this habit will become your secret weapon and keep you motivated and on the path to fluency.
Chapter 7. Overcoming the "I'm too busy" excuse. We've all experienced those days when we feel too busy, tired, or distracted, and have no time to practice English. Maybe you've told yourself, "I don't have time today," or "I'll do it tomorrow." These thoughts are completely natural. Life is full of responsibilities, work, family, daily tasks, and unexpected events that demand our attention.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed and think that learning English requires hours of free time. But the truth is, this time limit is often just an idea, not a reality. But the simple and honest truth is, if you can find 30 minutes to browse social media, watch videos, or check your phone, you can definitely find 30 minutes to practice English. The real problem isn't time, the problem is your choice of how to use the time you have. The issue is about making English practice a natural part of your life, not an extra heavy task that seems difficult to do. Simple but powerful secret: connect your English practice to something you do every day. When you combine English learning with your daily habits, it becomes easy to stick to it. This practice no longer feels like a heavy duty. Instead, it becomes a natural and smooth part of your daily routine.
Hidden opportunities in your day. Morning coffee. Think about your morning coffee. For many people, drinking the first cup of coffee or tea is a relaxing ritual, a short moment before the day's rush begins. Why not use these same 30 minutes to listen to an English podcast or watch a short English video? This way, while you enjoy your coffee, your brain also absorbs new English words and ideas. This doesn't add an extra activity to your day. You are simply combining two things you already do, while cooking or exercising. Another great opportunity is during cooking or exercise. These activities usually don't require full mental focus, so you can listen to English content while moving or preparing food. Imagine you're chopping vegetables and listening to an English story at the same time, or you are running and following your English audiobook. You'll be surprised how quickly your listening skills improve just by adding English to moments that are usually quiet or full of background sounds. Before bed. In the evening, instead of turning on the TV or browsing social media, read a short English article or watch a video you like. Even 10 minutes before bed can make a big difference. This gentle exposure to the language helps your brain continue learning even during relaxation. Plus, ending your day with English practice can be a calming and rewarding habit.
The key is to think creatively about your time. Look for short moments throughout the day that can turn into English learning opportunities. Maybe a 10-minute break at work, a few minutes waiting for the bus, or a few minutes while cooking your food. These small moments, if used consistently, quickly add up. 30 minutes might seem little, but when done continuously, it can become a powerful and life-changing daily habit. Changing your mindset. When English practice integrates with your daily life, it no longer feels like extra work. Instead, it becomes a part of your identity, someone who enjoys learning, growing, and connecting with the world. This shift in mindset makes a big difference. You no longer ask yourself, "Where can I find time?" Instead, you naturally fit English into the flow of your day. Preparation. It's also helpful to prepare beforehand. Set reminders on your phone, place English resources in visible spots, or prepare playlists of your favorite English podcasts and videos. These small preparations eliminate excuses and make starting your practice easier. When it's easy to start, you are more likely to do it.
Remember, being busy is often a feeling, not a reality. We all have the same 24 hours. Successful English learners don't have more time, they just make the most of the time they have. They know that small, consistent actions are better than long, scattered sessions. 30 minutes a day, when connected to your daily habits, can lead you to fluency. Finally, be kind to yourself. Some days will be harder than others. If you miss a day, don't give up. Just continue from where you stopped. The most important thing is to keep going, even if it's just a little bit each time. Over weeks and months, these small moments lead to great progress. So next time you feel too busy, remember this: you already have time. Just make English a part of your life, not an extra task. Find your moments, connect your practice to your daily routine, and witness your English skills grow day by day.
Chapter 8. Long-Term Perspective and Conclusion. Your 30-Minute Promise. When you start your English learning journey, it's natural to want to see big changes quickly. After all, who doesn't want to speak easily in a few days, understand movies without subtitles, or write confidently? But the truth is that real progress doesn't happen overnight. You might not see big changes after a week of practice. That's okay. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. This path is about creating lasting habits that become stronger and more effective over time. Compound effect. If you stick to your daily 30-minute practice, something amazing happens after a month. You suddenly notice that you understand more words in conversations, follow simple stories with less effort, and your confidence increases because you have built a strong foundation. Those small moments you spent practicing have accumulated without you even noticing. After 3 months of consistent practice, the difference becomes clearer. You start speaking more fluently, reading faster, and feeling more comfortable writing short messages or emails in English. You might surprise yourself joining a conversation or watching a movie scene and understanding its main idea. This is the power of daily action, small, regular steps that create big changes. Imagine what will happen after a full year. 30 minutes a day equals over 180 hours of English practice in a year, assuming 365 days and 30 minutes per day. Think about it. 180 hours of focused learning. This is like taking an intensive English course without leaving home or spending a lot of money.
You've invested a little time every day, and over the months, those minutes have turned into a mountain of skill and confidence. A journey without burnout. One of the best parts of this approach is that you don't get tired or burned out because you never pushed yourself too hard. You haven't tried to cram hours and hours into one day and then give up. Instead, you've simply shown up every day and done a little work. This steady and gentle pace is kinder to your mind and body and keeps your motivation alive because it prevents the frustration of too much pressure. Embracing mistakes. A long-term perspective also helps you keep going when progress seems slow. It's easy to get discouraged if you expect immediate results and don't see them. But if you understand that real fluency takes time, you can be patient with yourself. You know that every minute you practice today is an investment in your future. Slow growth might seem invisible now, but it's building a strong foundation that will support you for years. This perspective also changes how you view mistakes and challenges. When you think long-term, mistakes become part of the process, not failures. Every mistake is a lesson. Every difficulty is a step forward. You learn to embrace challenges because you know they are signs of your growth. This mindset makes your learning journey more enjoyable and less stressful.
Celebrating successes and goals. Another important part of the long-term perspective is celebrating your progress. It's easy to focus only on what you haven't learned yet, but it's equally important to look back and see how much you've progressed. Maybe at one point you couldn't understand a simple conversation, but now you follow it easily. Maybe you once struggled to say a sentence, but now you speak with confidence. These moments of reflection give you the strength to continue. Setting long-term goals can also guide your practice. Imagine where you want to be in 6 months, a year, or even 5 years. Maybe you want to travel, find a better job, or make new friends who speak English. Keeping these goals in mind gives meaning and purpose to your daily practice and reminds you why you started and where you are heading. A lifelong relationship with English. Finally, a long-term perspective helps you build a lifelong relationship with English. When you learn steadily and in small steps, English becomes a natural part of your life. It's not a skill that stops after a course or an exam. It's a skill that grows with you and opens new doors at every stage of life. You become someone who can communicate, discover new ideas, and interact with people worldwide. Conclusion: your 30-minute promise. So, keep your eyes on the long-term goal and trust the process.
Show up every day.
even when progress seems slow or difficult. Remember that every 30-minute session is one step closer to your goal. One day, you will look back and be amazed at how much you've progressed. This journey will be one of your greatest achievements. Fluency in English is not a magic trick or a secret gift. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken day by day. The point is to stay in the flow, even when it seems hard or progress is slow. The good news is that you don't need hours of study to see real progress. Just 30 minutes of focused practice every day can transform your English skills and confidence. Today, I invite you to this challenge. For the next 30 days, dedicate 30 minutes every day to learning English, whether it's listening, speaking, reading, or writing. I promise you, the end of this challenge will lead to significant progress. Whether you are a beginner who has just started or someone who wants to progress faster, this habit will take you further than you imagined. The channel, Language by Language, is here to support you, inspire you, and guide you on your journey. Remember, it's not about the long hours you spend, but the extent of your commitment.
Your commitment to consistent practice makes the difference. So start today. Set aside your 30 minutes, choose a skill to focus on, and enjoy the process. Don't worry about perfection or rushing, just commit to showing up every day. Your future self will appreciate the effort you make. And now, the journey towards English fluency begins with one step. And that step is your 30-minute promise. If this video motivated you and was helpful, please like the video, share your comments and experiences with us in the comments section, share it with friends and acquaintances who need this guidance. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Language by Language channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Remember, every 30 minutes brings you one step closer to mastering English.